Hello. Today, you will hear a story about a man's revenge. In my life, the main thing was the desire for a better life. I did not think that I should get everything at once, so I studied and worked for a long time to become a successful person. As for luck, I don't know if it could help me. Because in my life, there was not a single case when I got something just like that. This is exactly what happened to my other half. Karina was a very beautiful girl. I met her at the gym. She was a very spectacular girl, which simply could not be ignored. On the one hand, I understood that such a girl might not even look at me, but I was very persistent. Karina, maybe today we'll go for a walk along the embankment after training. I suggested to her. Jason, I'm so touched by your perseverance. Karina replied with a smile. I'm not suggesting anything. I'm just bored. I want you to keep me company. It's just a friendly walk. Precisely in a friendly way, Karina answered with a smile again. I promise I won't bother. I also said with a smile. We walked together more and more. I try to pleasantly surprise Karina while trying not to be an obsessive jerk. She already had a lot of such caring fans, but it was quite easy for me to communicate with her. Cute and unobtrusive surprises in the form of a small bouquet, flowers or ice cream or coffee helped to melt the ice between us. And soon we started dating, carrying a light how I took care of her. She felt confident in the future because she could always rely on me in any situation. And now 25 years have passed since the moment we got married with Karina. Our life was calm and measured. Initially, of course, it was not easy. I was constantly at work to secure our future. But in the end, I reached a decent status, and now we could afford a lot of things. Karina was very fond of clothes. Shoes were her particular passion. I bought Karina the best and very expensive shoes of the most famous brands. There were even exclusive models. I even had to set aside a separate room for carrying a shoes, which only had shoes. I did not force Karina to work. I liked to fully provide for her so that she would not need anything. While I was doing work, Karina ennobled our house, created comfort in it. But our calm and happy life ended when a new neighbor settled near us. His house was just next to ours. The neighbor's name was Henry. He was a writer. His topic of discussion was marital fidelity. He defended family institutions as an example. He provided his relationship with his wife. He said that cheating is the meanest thing that can be in a relationship. He shared tips that helped him maintain marital fidelity. He had an active page on social networks where he actively discussed the problems of adultery with subscribers. Henry wrote well, but in life, he gave the impression of a rather secretive and slippery person. He communicated very helpfully, talked a lot and asked questions, but he did not particularly like to talk about himself personally. After we met, Henry invited us to his house for a housewarming party. Henry, so you think that every person should be faithful to his soulmate? I asked Henry at the table. Undoubtedly, look at us with Maudlin. We are happy, although we have been married for more than 15 years. Adultery is a banal escape from family problems. Nobody says that family happiness is easy. First of all, it is hard and exhausting work for both halves. But if you try, you can say family happiness and not live in an everyday habit with each other. Henry said, hugging his wife. Yes. Guys, you are great fellows. Of course, Karina and I also try to maintain harmony in our relations. I answered. Well, you can do it easier. You look at yourself. You are very beautiful and spectacular. This is another reason to constantly admire others, said Henry, with a sly smile, keeping his eyes on Karina. After this evening, I was left with a double impression of our neighbor. Well, what do you say, Karina, about our new neighbors? I asked my wife. I don't even know. It's hard to understand from the first meeting. But I think Henry is a real good guy. He built a strong relationship, and he was also able to make good money on this by providing good advice. And he seemed to me a slippery guy. I didn't really believe what he was saying. He presented everything too pompously.
Come on, Jason.
Don't slander the man.
Okay.
Maybe you're right, I answered thoughtfully. Henry was a very friendly and very intrusive neighbor. He constantly gave me a bunch of unnecessary advice, which was already beginning to enrage me terribly. One day, I came home after work, went into the house and saw Henry at the table. Jason buddy finally came, Henry said with a smile. Henry, what are you doing here? I asked anxiously. Yes. Madeline went on a business trip to work, and I got really bored. I decided to visit you a little. Yes. Dear hello. Henry offered to cook a wonderful dinner according to a family recipe. Can you hear the scent in the room? Karina said with admiration. Yes. It really smells delicious. Karina, can I have a minute? I said. Karina, why the hell did you let him into our house? I asked indignantly. Jason, why are you so angry? Karina asked in surprise. It's nothing that we plan to sit together in a restaurant today. Who did I book a table for? Honey, I'm sorry. I completely forgot. Henry so unexpectedly appeared on our porch, explained his situation to me, and I thought it would be nice if the three of us sat today. And our romantic dinner will be postponed to another time. Cancel the table, please. And don't be mad at Henry. He tried really hard to make dinner. Okay. I'll try to control myself, but I say right away that I frankly don't like such unexpected guests. This evening was still that gift of fate. Henry chatted without rest. And when he was also tipsy, it was generally impossible to stop him. Henry focused his attention more and more on Karina. Karina, I'm sorry, but I owe you a compliment. I can see that you take very good care of yourself. You have a great figure. Exhausting workouts in the gym. Yes, Henry. I often go to the gym. Now, of course, this is already tiring me a lot, but what cannot be done for the sake of beauty, right? I agree with you, Karina. But listen, I myself know what exhausting training is. They also started to tire me out over time. And I switched to yoga. You have no idea how well yoga can keep muscles in good shape. The right exercises and their correct execution will make training much more enjoyable, and you will no longer need to spend time in the gym. I have a great coach. I'll take you to him. You will see. It really works. Yes, athletes. Am I interfering with your conversations and plans? I asked indignantly. Jason, I'm sorry. We got carried away. Jason used to go to the gym a lot before too, but because of work, he goes there much less often. Karina said, Jason, dear, so I'm happy to help you too. Henry said. Thank you, Henry, yoga is clearly not my thing. I look at the time. I have to get up early tomorrow, so I beg your pardon, but it's time for us to say goodbye. Yes. I'm sorry, and it's really late. With you guys, time flies. Okay. I'll get going. Good night, Henry. Henry finally got out of our house. Jason, you were too rude to Henry. What got into you? Karina asked indignantly. Yes. Because he's about to start groping your progress at the gym to check your elasticity. He literally ate you with his eyes. Jason, don't talk nonsense. Henry is married and still firmly believes in family devotion. Yes. I have heard these tales 1,000 times. I don't believe a single word he says. He's just a liar. Well, do you believe me? I believe you. Then calm down and stop. I beg you very much. Okay. Okay. I calmed down. A bit after that, trying to make it easier to ignore Henry, but the last one just pissed me off. I came home having forgotten important documents and saw Karina and Henry doing yoga. Karina tried to hold a new position, and Henry, embarrassed, held it by the hips, then in front below the navel, periodically stroking. "What the hell is going on here?" I cried out when I saw this picture. "Jason, why are you back?" "We're just doing yoga. Henry is teaching me a new pose." Karina answered in confusion. "Yes. I see what kind of yoga you are doing here. Get your hands off my wife." I yelled at Henry.
"Jason, calm down.
This is clearly not what you think. I'm just helping carrying a practice at home. Go ahead, Henry, help your wife practice. Gather your things and stomp out of my house." On this day, Karina and I had a big fight. She stubbornly defended Henry's innocence and blamed me for my prejudice against him and distrust of her. All this terribly infuriated me. Trusting Karina was really in question. I got tired of tormenting myself with all these doubts, and I installed hidden cameras in the house when Karina was not at home. Just a couple of days later, during which I was very busy at work, I decided to check the security cameras. What I saw and heard shocked me. "Karina, hello. Well, I hope Jason doesn't suddenly turn up today." Henry asked. "No. Henry, he has a lot of work these days. You don't have to worry about it." Karina answered. "Yes. Last time we almost got caught, that's for sure. He hates you so much. Starts asking a lot of questions. So we need to be careful. Of course, he got me, but he provides me with everything, if you understand." "Yes. Christina, I understand you perfectly. My wife invested in my books. This business has just started making money for me. People are terribly stupid. They believe in everything that I write here. Loyalty and stuff is so boring, but people like to think that's what I am. My wife especially loves it. But I also don't want her to know about us because her investment will still be useful to me. But I don't think your idiot and my gullible wife will know. Now let's stop talking and play pranks right now. Come to me, my sweet," Henry said, and threw my wife on the sofa in a hurry, pulling off her clothes. I saw how this bastard had my wife dirty right at my house. My anger knew no bounds. "Dirty lying creatures. I'll arrange fun for you, bitches," I shouted in rage. Initially, I was anxious and confused because I loved Karina so much. But then I remembered how many times she looked at me and brazenly lied. She treated me only as a sponsor and nothing more. So I decided to take revenge on those bastards. Henry was due to have a book launched soon, and it was the perfect opportunity to get back at those lying bastards. And now this day has come. There were a lot of people in the large room. Everyone was waiting impatiently for Henry to appear. But most importantly, my wife and Henry's wife were here. The show promised to be fun. Henry appeared on stage and began his performance.
Dear friends,
I am very pleased that there are so many of you. I deeply appreciate your trust and respect for me. Hope my tips helped you. After all, I myself went through this path of fidelity. It is not easy, but quite real. Today, I present my new book. I wanted to give special thanks to my wife. Without her, I could not. She is my muse, my hope, and support. And I prepared a presentation for all of you. I hope you all like it. Attention to the screen. Henry spoke solemnly. But instead of a presentation, a hot video appeared on the big screen, which I recorded and replaced. The memory card. There it was, clearly inaudible, and you can see how Henry speaks of both his readers and his wife. And then everyone saw the scene, how this bastard had Karina. The audience gasped. You son of a bitch. Bastard. Yes. Your words are worthless, lying bastard. You can pack up your rags and get out of my house. Henry's wife spoke out angrily and left the place. What are you, bitch, looking at me? Thought I wouldn't know. So I'm just a bag of money for you. You two-faced creature. I told Karina.
Jason, I'm sorry.
Karina began to apologize in tears. Shove your excuses up your ass. Yes. You don't have to return home anymore. Do you see the glow from the fire in the window? It's all your stuff on fire, including your precious shoe collection. I'm clearly not on the way with such a creature as you. And you bastard better not get in my eyes again. Otherwise, I'll play football with your head. I said and left, leaving a crowd of angry and deceived fans to deal with Henry. And what will happen to Karina, I was no longer interested at all. Henry's business failed miserably. This video has been circulating on the internet for a long time. Since then, I have not seen him again exactly like Karina. We got divorced. We had a prenup. So this bitch was left embarrassed and barefooted. I started life from scratch. I realized that people can be very insidious, and this cannot be noticed right away. But this lesson was helpful. The feeling of successful revenge helped me to establish a new life without deceitful people in it. Dear listeners, your support is very important to us. If you like our story, please like, comment and subscribe. It's very motivating for us.